Welcome to Screams from the Center, where I provide information on topics that I find interesting and give my take on them. In this breaking news, the EPA spills 1 million gallons of toxic waste. Now, this is in Colorado, which is my home state. This is from the Gold King mine along the Animas River in Colorado. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, I'm not that particularly interested in a whole lot of these toxic spills. I mean, these things happen quite often. This is a big one, I will admit that. But it's the news surrounding it that I find interesting. This particular spill is making the right wing go lividly crazy. They want answers. They want accountability. They want fines. Why do they want these things? I mean, back in the day when BP was pumping millions of gallons of oil per day into the Gulf of Mexico, we had Republican Representative Joe Barton apologizing to BP for their own spill. So why the sudden interest? Well, it turns out that this is a decommissioned mine from a group called San Juan Corporation. Now, what's particularly interesting is that an EPA team that was sent in to start the cleanup efforts of this accidentally discharged the toxic waste into the river. So that's why the right wing is livid about accountability, about punishment, because for as far as I know, possibly the first time in history, the EPA caused some sort of ecological disaster. But all of the others, including the 712 toxic discharges last year in Colorado alone, not a peep. The EPA does this one time, and the right wing is absolutely batshit crazy. It drives me up a wall that they're going out of their way to target the EPA, as if this is something normally that happens. Again, I've challenged Republicans on Facebook to give me 5 accidents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accidents in the history of the EPA where they caused some sort of spill or accident. I'm still waiting for that to come in. It really drives me up a wall that these right-wingers suddenly become environmentally conscious when it involves something like the EPA. You know, we've got our local senator, Cory Gardner, teabag extraordinaire, who is just asking for everything. He's asking for transparency, investigations, and they want it done instantly. This happened on Friday, which they said that they did it on Friday. And he's asking for transparency and accountability. So, here we go. I pointed out that 11% of the spills resulted in water contamination. 203 spills occurred within 1,500 feet of a building, such as a school or a home. 51 spills contained more than 5 barrels, or 210 gallons, of oil. 5 operators were responsible for the majority of these spills. So, Senator Gardner, you want to tell me where your outrage is? Is your outrage really with the EPA? Anyway, so that's the skinny of it. You can draw your own conclusions from it. You can say that we don't need an EPA anymore. Well, I remember what the world was like in the United States before the EPA was really able to do its work. I remember the crap on the side of the roads. I remember dirty rivers and lakes that you couldn't swim in or couldn't fish in. I remember how awful the air was. When I first went to LA before they had those smog regulations, there was a black cloud over LA. Today, you can see sky. Now, if you want to get rid of the EPA, that's fine. But what's going to stop corporations from revoking those laws, paying politicians like Cory Gardner to revoke the laws that protected our environment, that cleaned up our environment? The EPA's works that are good far outweigh anything that they've done in this last week. Mark my words, though, this is something the Republicans are going to grab onto, and they're going to try and ride the lightning to destroy what we have fixed. It's getting ridiculous every single time you turn around. The Republicans are attacking regulation. They're attacking cleanness. What do they want? I argue with an idiot on Facebook almost daily that he doesn't know the meaning of words. He doesn't know the meaning of anything. He can't tell me one regulation of the EPA that he would like to revoke that is overreaching. One regulation. That's what I ask. One. And he can't tell me that. But he knows the EPA has to be done away with because all the regulations are bad. And he can't name one. What's the worst one? So if you're on the right and you are just absolutely livid about this, why don't you take a check and do 5 minutes of research on the internet and see how much more toxic sludge has been dumped by private companies just in the last few months, and then tell me that the EPA has to pay. It's ridiculous. You act like an idiot. You people are acting like fools when you do this sort of thing. Now, let's find out. I'm all for finding out. Let's find out what happened, hold the people accountable who are accountable for it, and move on. Thank you for joining me in this Screams from the Center update and breaking news. Please leave comments below on how I can improve. Please subscribe, like, and share my video. My blog is at screamsfromthecenter.wordpress.com, on Twitter at screamsftcenter, and on Google and Facebook under Screams from the Center. Thank you.